Hi everyone! This is another video in the Excel to R friendly guide series. Today I'm going to show you something nice and easy, counting data. As usual, we're going to start with our Excel baseline and then show you how much easier it is to perform counts in R. Say we have this lovely table with penguin data. It contains several penguin species and it comes from an R package called palmerpenguins. I just exported it from R to Excel. We want to count the number of penguins from each species. So I'm going to show you how we would have done it in Excel and how easy it is to do it with R. So in order to do it with Excel, we just use a pivot table, right? So we click on pivot table, gives us the range, and then we can add the species to the rows, the species to the values, and we get the count of species. And we can also add additional variables. For example, if we want to count the combinations of islands and species, we can add islands to columns and get for each combination of species and island the number of penguins which appear in that combo of species and islands within the data. And you can also play with it in different kinds and forms and get different kinds of tables and whatever. So now I want to show you how much easier it is to do with R, as I said. So let's skip to R. I'm going to load two packages. The first one is a package called palmerpenguins, as I said, which would give us the penguins table. So we got a new table here called penguins. It's the same table I've shown earlier in Excel. And I'm also going to load the tidyverse package for the function I'm going to use. The function is called count, and it does exactly what it says. It counts data. So let's take the penguins, the new penguins data set here. And all I have to do in order to count the combinations of different species of penguins is just add the pipe operator and add my function count and say what I want to count. What I want to count now is species. So I'm just going to add species here. And what I'm going to get is a new table with one column called species and the other called n. Right? So we can see that we have 152 species of penguins of Adelie, and 68 penguins in chinstrap and so on. Now another nice thing is that we can keep adding different variables. For example, if we want to count the combinations of species and island, I'll just add the island variable here. And again, I'll get a very similar table. Only this time I'll have two columns, one species, the other island, and another one called n, which counts the combos. So you can see we get the combos. For example, Adelie appears in all islands, in all three islands, and Chinstrap is in Dream Island, Gentoo is in Bisco Island, and we get the numbers here. We can also add another argument called sort equals true, and this table will come out sorted. So we've got the Gentoo appears first here, and then Chinstrap, and so on. So we get it according to frequency. So very easy to use count, very flexible command. I want to show you another small trick. This trick is called add count. It's like a sister function of count, only instead of modifying the original table, it's going to keep a very similar form of the original table, again the penguins table here. So it's going to keep the same number of rows, and it's going to add one column called n, and that column is going to indicate for each observation how many times it appears, or the specific combination appears within the data. So let's change this function here from count to add count. You see the original table here is with 344 rows, and let's give this sort here. Once I run this, I get a new table with the same number of rows, only this time I get this n column here. And let's view it in a tabular form so it would be easier to explain. So what we see here is for each observation, we see the number of combinations or number of similar observations in terms of species and island. So for this specific observation, there are 52 other observations which come from the same species and island. It's the same for the second observation because it is also from the same species and island. Okay, so this is very useful. For example, if we want to filter the data for example, for combinations which appear only at least 100 times. So if we would have added filter and greater than 100, we get a smaller table. And again, this table is going to show only Gentoo and Bisco penguins, because only this combination is common enough. Appears more than 100 times in the original dataset. And there you have it. Counting made easy with R. Enjoy. As usual, if you found this video useful, leave me a comment. For more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.